I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And this is just a quick little update / opinion piece kind of video about this thing that came out real quick. So I was just about to record my Mystery Science I Accuse My Parents review, which I'll be doing right after this. But then Joel tweeted about something that I found super interesting. He says, and I'll put the tweet up right here, so excited that the MST3K live website is up and running. And he had a link to the great cheesy movie Circus tour of Mystery Science Theater 3000 live. So I checked it out, and, like, look, I understand. I have never been able to go on one of the tours before, see one of the shows. I've been down on either time or money or transportation every time so far on the previous two that they've done. I think they're kind of overkill for the amount they do them and the way they ended up actually permeating into the show at the end of the gauntlet was weird. I'm not trying to, if you enjoy these, I'm extremely happy for you, and I hope that the shows are genuinely great. I've never been to one, so I can't speak for that. I just think it's really not good that we've only gotten 2 seasons of the show on Netflix. One of those seasons being only 6 episodes long, in over 2 years, just over 2 years now of time on Netflix, and we've just gotten 3 live tours already. I don't feel positively about this at all, just because I'm not trying to upset anyone. I'm not trying to be weird about it, I guess, but it's like you give us one long good season that I think kind of built up to what our expectations were. I think that The Return, season 11, was what most of us were expecting and kind of wanting that season in a new season of Mystery Science, like this revival, to kind of be. But then I don't know if how many people I speak for, it could just be for me, but I found the Gauntlet extraordinarily disappointing. Even though I did like a couple episodes in it, and there are a lot of good moments. The concept song was an instant classic, absolutely, but you gave us 6 episodes where at least 2 of them, for me, are practically unwatchable, with Mac and Me and Atlantic Rim. So, and a lot of people also do not like Atlantic Rim, I know for sure, just from the comments I've gotten on the channel. I know Mac and Me is more up in the air, but, like, a lot of other people were saying that season that the Gauntlet was a lot weaker than the Return on average. So for most of us that I've actually spoken with, over the interweb, most of us only got 4 episodes out of those 6. It seems to be the average. And so, you give us, depending on what you like, 4 to 6 episodes after a year and a half past that first season, past The Return, and you give us yet another live show. And like, look, I'm sure they make a lot of money off these, and that's why they're doing it, and I mean, it could be that they have a lot of ideas. I do like the fact that there's a little behind the scenes video that Joel put up, and apparently they'll be putting those up throughout the creation of this. It's cool that it's based on the Circus. It's cool that they're trying to put in more acts, so it's not just the riffing, that there are going to be more sketches and things for the bots to do. I love practical effects. That's really cool. But when are we getting season 3 on Netflix? When's season 13 coming out? Can we get a date? Can we get anything? Can we get a number of episodes? Can we get, like I said, a release date? I mean, I'm not even asking for, like, a trailer or for, it's coming out next month. But it's like, it just feels to me like between the Gauntlet and the way the live shows have all kind of played out, that Joel didn't really have a long-term plan for this. Even though when the Kickstarter stuff was happening, he kept saying stuff that implied he did. It's just odd. And another thing, too, is I understand wanting to make the live show a little longer, the tour a little longer, because of how many places they've been on these live tours. I mean, I think it was the first one or the second one. On one of them, they were doing, like, a new town almost every night for, like, a month. And so I understand if you wanted to slow that down a little bit. But if you go to the events page, and I'll put some screenshots up here on the MST3K live site, and you go to events, the first announced show is Saturday, September 14th, 2019 in York, Pennsylvania. And, you know, the next few are in September, then it skips to October, and you keep going down. And by the time you're to the end of the currently announced shows, and Joel said that there will be new cities announced, like, or the site said that there will be new cities announced a lot. The last one currently listed is for Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. I mean, what? Like, they planned, like, this is a live show. Let's say that the beginning and end dates stay the same. This is a 7-month-long live tour. And I don't know, guys. I don't think Mystery Science is, like, I love Mystery Science, and I think the idea of a live tour is really fun, but it really seems like they are currently, over the last, you know, year and a half, 2 years, prioritizing this over the actual production of the show. And again, I could be totally wrong. I'm not there. I'm not behind the scenes. I'm not at Netflix. I'm not at, you know, with Joel or with his people or anything like that. But as an outsider looking in, as someone who has seen every episode of the Netflix series and who hasn't seen the live tours yet, but is kept up on the info about them as much as possible every time, it really feels like that's what their priorities are. That's what they're prioritizing over the show. You know, once again, like with the Gauntlet, they shot it super fast, and they, you know, clearly didn't have as strong scripts as they probably thought they did on a couple of those episodes, just based on the fan feedback I've seen. And only 6 episodes. We waited from April of 2017 to Thanksgiving of 2018, and we got 6 episodes. Even if they were 6 of the best episodes of the series, that still, like, really sucks to me. Like, to make this big grand announcement and this big, huge, biggest Kickstarter in history at the time, and oh, we're getting a Netflix deal and all these big, great things, and then after the first season of, you know, 14 episodes, I mean, that's substantial, but it's not the longest Mystery Science season out there. Most of them are 22 plus episodes. And then the next season to be a year and a half later with only 6 episodes. I don't know. I mean, I still feel kind of gypped about that for all of us. Like, especially the people that donated a lot of money to this thing and that, like, really believed in this revival. Like, I think even if you know, love the live tours and that's what you're excited about, that's great. But I think they've completely dropped the ball in terms of the actual show's production, which is really weird. This is not to, I swear, this video is not to start anything, it is not to argue with anyone. I'm not trying to, you know, badmouth Joel and say that he's an idiot or that this is, like, the worst thing he could do. Nothing like that. But I had to get this out there because I saw this and I was just very confused just between, again, the fact that it's been 8 months, no, 7.5 months, something like that, since the Gauntlet. We've had no announcements at all about a season 13, yet it's been, you know, less than a year since the last live show, and they're like, here's a live show that goes all the way in from September of this year to March of 2020. And it just really feels odd to me. It just feels a little weird what they're doing with what parts of the property, if that makes sense. Also, I do think it's weird, I meant to mention this, I mean, you're doing this thing for 7 months and they only have 2 movies listed the entire time. Only No Retreat, No Surrender, which I know of from the riff tracks, and Circus of Horrors, which I've never heard of. I don't know, man. I just think that if you're also gonna be going for this long on this type of a tour, maybe they could have thrown a 3rd or 4th movie in there to, like, mix it up, just because it's going on for so long. And if Joel's right and they're going to be adding new cities every day for a while, I mean, you're going to have a lot of different shows. So I don't know, I just feel kind of weird about it. I think, I'm not saying it needs to do what RiffTrex does, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying I think RiffTrex has more of the right idea by doing a few, like a small little pinch of live shows a year that are simulcast so everyone can enjoy them, but you can go to Nashville to actually see them. And then having Studio Riffs come out on a weekly basis. Meanwhile, Joel's like, oh, we're going to do these big live tours, but they're not simulcast, and we're going to do the show on an 18-month plus basis with so few episodes. It just doesn't equate to me. And again, I'm not saying they need to adopt the riff tracks style. I'm not saying, oh, they're nothing compared to riff track, nothing like that. I just think that they should dial back on the live show a little bit and put more of a focus on the production of the actual show, just from what we're seeing so far. But that's just my quick, like, rambly thoughts on it. Please leave your thoughts below. Are you excited? Are you equally confused? Would you rather they be putting more focus on the tours than the live show? Or on the live tours than on the actual show? Or vice versa? Or do you think it's perfectly balanced the way it is? Just let me know down below. I am really interested to see what everyone says about all this, because I'm kind of just weirded out by it. So, thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.